The good news is, I always land on my feet. Foot. The age-old question. How badly does the patient want to survive? Never give up. Never surrender. $100. 99. 98. 97. If I'm to tell the whole truth, and why not? I got plenty of time. I was born Richard Pizzetti in New York's Little Italy. All I ever wanted was to be a surgeon. My father, an old world greaseball, would laugh and tell me to get him another glass of wine. He died when he was 46, and I was glad. I always had luck on my side, present circumstances notwithstanding. But I'm not really worried about that. As I said, I always land on my feet. Anyway, a poor kid from the projects getting to college was no easy task. So I did what any other able-bodied kid would do. I played sports. But let's not forget, being a surgeon was all I ever wanted, so I figured a scholarship would get me in the door and the world would be my oyster. And you know what? I was good at it. So I became quarterback. Well, let's face it, a doctor's hands are his life, so I'd wrap them before every game, then I'd soak them after. A lot of my teammates would rag on me, call me chicken shit. Mostly this big zit-faced asshole named Howie Plotsky. But living on the streets, making connections, getting to know people, you know. Any asshole knows how to die. The thing to learn is how to survive. So I slipped Ricky Pizzelli $10 to make Howie's mouth disappear. Ricky obliged and brought me 3 of his teeth wrapped in a bloody paper towel. Can you imagine the damage I could have done to my hands busting his face? In med school, while the other suckers were running themselves ragged trying to bone up, between waiting tables and buffing floors, I kept the rackets going. Football pools, baseball pools. I stayed tight with the old neighborhood and made it through school just fine. I didn't get into pushing until I was doing my residency. I was working in one of the biggest hospitals in New York City. At first, it was prescription blanks. I'd sell a tablet of 100 to some guys from the neighborhood, along with writing samples of 40 or 50 doctors. Then they'd turn around and sell it for 20 apiece. Speed freaks and nodders, they loved it. Speaking of which, I finally woke up shortly after dark. Wait, have I mentioned I haven't had anything to eat in 4 days? Day fucking 3. Haven't seen another soul. A bunch of stuff washed up over the last few days, and I've taken what I can between that and the shit that I got off the useless lifeboat. But it could be worse. At least I'm here, and I'm not her. Or whoever she was. And then this gull landed on one of the rocks on the island, and just stood there, looking at me with his fucking black eyes. The sound actually gave me great satisfaction. I carried it back to my camp, and before I even plucked a feather, I dumped iodine all over the laceration. The last thing I need now is an infection. No driftwood or vegetation for a fire, so I guess it's seagull tartar. 199. 98. 97. January 29th, day 4. The only reason to keep Gloria here, that's what I call her, is that she attracts the gulls. But I don't know how much more I can handle. Jesus. The stench. Her body baking in the sun. Found a few things in the suitcase I could use. Not much else to do, so I'm gonna keep writing my life story. At least it keeps my mind off my stomach. Well, sort of. I had enough socked away from my adventures as an intern and resident that I could have set myself up in a practice on Park Avenue. Then Lowenthal gets pinched. Fucking sheep. They wave 5 years in front of his face and he coughs up half a dozen names. Mine right at the top of the list. There were a few other deals, including prescription blanks, which I didn't entirely give up. It's funny, I didn't really need that stuff anymore. It was hard to give up the extra sugar, you know. So what did I do? Threw a couple people to the wolves. Nobody I liked, though. Everyone I gave to the feds was a real son of a bitch. Killed another gull today, same way I killed the first. I was beginning to get scared there for a while. It is strange how you can feel the vitality surge back when there's something in your stomach. 263, 264, 265. No place like home. Oh, and did I tell you I had about $350,000 worth of heroin? New York street value. You know what it's worth here? El Zilcho. Yeah, sort of funny if you think about it. I wanted my shingle back, and it was gonna cost me big. I had some money stashed away, but I decided I'd take a chance, try and double or triple it. That's when I went to see Ronnie and Melanie. Ronnie and I played football together. When his kid brother decided on internal medicine, I helped him get his residency. Anything for someone from the block. He went from neighborhood enforcer to law school, set up a shop above the fishbowl. I knew Ronnie would have something for me. It's dangerous, he said, but you always could take care of yourself.
Hey! I'm here!
I flew to Thailand as a tourist. My Chinese friend had the merchandise. I took it to a guy named No, who pronounced it to be very high-grade stuff. After 3 weeks, I booked passage to San Francisco on the cruise ship Monrovia. First-class cabin. All the way. This guy No arranged for 2 customs officials to wave me through, so getting on the ship was no problem. And Ronnie and Ellie had arranged for a boat to pick up the bag that I'd toss over the side just before we docked. So I was looking for a cook or a steward who could use a little cash, keep his mouth shut, and the ship sank. Well, fuck me. Okay. Honey, I'm done. No, don't get up. From where I sit, I can plainly see the letters. Every single one of them. Could have used your help. Took me damn near all day to spell it. But another plane ain't gonna miss me. I mean us. If there is another plane. You know, darling, my foot has been throbbing constantly. And the swelling and discoloration is getting more and more advanced. I think we may have to amputate. Shit. All I can think about is what Mockridge used to say in basic anatomy. Sooner or later, he'd say the question comes up in every medical student's career. How much shock trauma can the patient stand? And he'd whack his pointer on the chart of the human body, hitting the liver, the kidneys, spleen, the heart. Cut to its base level, students. The answer is always another question. How badly does the patient want to survive? So, I have decided to amputate my foot. Good thing is I have matches, a needle, thread from the sewing kit, and 2 kilos of painkiller. Although hardly the type I'd prescribed. It's been 4 days of no food. And if I wait any longer, I run a greater risk of fainting from a combination of shock and hunger in the middle of the operation. And I would bleed to death. This may be my last entry. But I think I'm gonna make it. But don't I always? And they really are doing marvelous things with artificial limbs these days. I can get along with 1 foot quite nicely. Okay. Time to see if I'm as good a doctor as I think I am. I'm close to digging the stitches out with my fingers, letting the blood flow into the sand. Anything to be rid of this maddening itch. So I'd count backwards from 100. The snort, the heroin. I have no idea how much I've snorted, but I've pretty much been stoned since the operation. It depresses hunger, you know. Weird. I'm hardly aware of being hungry. At all. It's like this distant gnawing. I could easily ignore it, but I can't. Gotta eat. No. Help. Hey. Lobster, garlic bread. Oh, mother's lasagna, prime bread, peach melba, onion rings.
Hey. Richard. You need to eat. I'm right here. Let's face it. I might be better than nothing. What are your alternatives?
It's fourth quarter, down by 3, third and long. Jim goes back to pass. I was convinced it was gonna fly off, but it didn't. The pain from my stump was excruciating, but this asshole bird strutting back and forth with its meaty breast thrown out like some avian general reviewing his troops. My insides tightened with hunger. 100. 99. 98. 98. I couldn't afford to miss. Couldn't commit. Because I couldn't afford to fuck this up. Because if I did, I knew exactly what that meant. Gloria. It's the race of the cripples. No, don't you fucking dare! Could have gotten there faster, but my hands must protect the hands. I may need them again. Gloria. The storm washed her away. I've amputated the other foot. Strange. All through the operation, I was drooling. Just like when I saw the girl. Drooling helplessly. Like an idiot.
Food and have no choice.
Tastes like cold roast beef. Cold roast beef. Cold roast beef. Oh, look at that. I'm beginning to feel half human again. Half human. Maybe a quarter human. Or an eighth. It's day 18. I noticed the storm washed away my health sign, along with what was left of Gloria. That was 3 days ago, I think. I've been that stoned. I need to watch it, cut down my dosage. Whatever ship would have gone by while I was tripping. Need to protect the hands, no matter what. Broke off my right leg at the knee. Lost a lot of blood. The pain was excruciating, in spite of the heroin. Shock trauma would have killed a lesser man. How badly does the patient want to survive? Let me answer with a question. How badly does the patient want to live? Doctor, was the operation necessary? I dreamt about Phil Hammersmith's barbecue pit, sitting on his porch at dusk with drinks in our hands, talking about surgical procedures or golf or something. The breeze picks up the sweet smell of roasting pork. Sweet Jesus. The smell of roasting pork. Took the other leg last night. Couldn't stop my hands from shaking. So much blood under my fingernails. I remember the anatomical models from med school, but I can't even look down. No way, no how. But I get it. I know what I need to do. With therapy, or what they're doing with artificial limbs these days, I could be good as new. I could come back to this place and tell everyone this is where it happened. Out there, but no choice. How do I tie off the femoral artery? It's as big as a highway up there. I just wish I could stop drooling. There's nothing left of my face but a skin-covered skull. I must be insane by now. I'm a monster. Nothing left below the groin, just a freak, a head attached to a torso, dragging itself along the sand by its elbows. The crab. The stoned crab. They say you are what you eat, right? So, haven't changed much. Been seeing my father. When he was drunk, he lost all of his English. Not that he had anything to say. Dipstick. I was so glad to get out of your house, you fucking piece of shit, know-nothing loser. I made it. I walked away from you. Left hand washes the right. Don't let the left hand know what the right one is doing. One potato, two potato. Who cares? This hand, that hand. Good food. Good meat. Let's eat. Lady fingers. They taste just like lady fingers. Fingers.